Camera for Donnie.
Go for Donnie.
Sound for Donnie.
Go for Donnie.
Makeup for Donnie.
Go for Donnie.
We're for Donnie.
Go for Donnie.
Grip department for Donnie.
Go for Donnie.
Or go for Donnie.
Go for Donnie.
Aaron for Donnie. Go for Donnie.
Aaron Fitzgerald. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so blessed to have on the show Aaron Fitzgerald, owner of Airborne Images. Is that correct? And
That's correct.
One of the Red Bull helicopter pilots. It's so cool to have you on. We definitely have some memories from our time working on Top Gear together. And I'm ecstatic to hear some stories, hopefully, from your time when you're in the 82nd Airborne that I forgot about. So it's so good to see you, man. How you been?
Yeah, you too. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. It's great to see you. And you're right. We did have some fun on set all over the place, all over the country.
You know, I was thinking about that last night as I was laying in bed, and I was like, you know, it was more than just a couple episodes. Weren't you in Texas with us when we did, I want to say Texas, there's like a handful of them. The Bugatti.
The ones I remember, sorry to interrupt you there. The ones I remember off the top of my head were Idaho. We were on the Snake River when we were running the boat against the car.
Yeah, that was the Aston Martin Vanquish, that blue Vanquish against Tanner was in the Subaru rally car, and Adam was out in the jet boat. Oh, that's crazy. That was a good time.
That was a fun one. And then we did two of them in San Pedro, the one where we were on the loading dock underneath all the cranes.
I was going to ask you about that one too.
Yeah, that was a fun one. I challenged myself on that one. And then we did the Vincent Thomas Bridge one, where you guys may or may not have exceeded the speed limit on the bridge.
Oh my God. I love that you've brought up all of these points that I wanted to talk to you about. So, I mean, I can just start with, and then, you know what, actually, I can thank you again for, you know, it seems like whenever we're out in the desert somewhere, I would always hitch a ride back with you guys, with you and Carson. So thanks for, you got me back from Bakersfield one time and then out when we were shooting Eagle Mountain. So that's two other shoots that we did together.
Much more fun riding back in the helicopter than it is.
Oh yeah, and it's so much quicker. I mean, it's really nice flight. So thanks again. You guys are such great guys. So why don't we just talk about San Pedro real quick? I mean, I remember it clear as day. I got a great photo of it. I think I even have a video of you flying down. I want to say under the crane.
I may or may not have flown under the crane structure. Yeah, we were working under the arms all day, and then for one of the shots, I went underneath the structure of the crane as well, the legs that hold it up.
Oh my gosh! So we'll show some room. Oh my God, there was enough room, and you made it. It was so cool. Just for reference, that was the Cop Cars episode of Top Gear that we shot in San Pedro, and that was piecing together the car chase with Tanner in the Z06 with the light bars on it as a cop car, chasing the drift bike. That was just insane through the docks. And Aaron here was just amazing, chasing them and flying under a freaking crane to get the shot. It was really, really dope.
That was a ton of fun. That was like being on a movie set with all the containers and everything and all the different angles we had to work with and all the great compositional elements with the cranes themselves and the containers and the trucks and all that. It was just a cool spot. Looked like some kind of Bond movie set or something.
Oh my God. And then just cut to, I think it was probably the next day when we filmed the Vincent Thomas Bridge scene that you were right. We did exceed the speed limit. And we did talk about that in a few episodes where I think Tanner's episode, we were talking about that. Because I was in the lead CHP car, and we would shut it down, and we'd call action, and they'd take off, go in car. And those converging shots you guys shot were so fucking cool. I mean, I can see them right now in my head.
That was super fun. Yeah, converging right over the center of the bridge. That was fun.
And then they would come back across the bridge at us, and then we would open up the freeway. We'd all meet down there, and they're all betting. All the CHP officers were betting like how fast they're going. And I think they got up to 150. Which was
definitely at least double the speed limit. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, we got a little shaking too from the coordinator about don't do that.
The finger.
Yeah, I think after that we went on a hiatus filming in California with CHP for a while until we were in good graces with them again. But
cool off a little bit.
Yeah, that was fun. Were you in Death Valley with us?
I don't think I was in Death Valley. I don't remember that.
Which other did you? Oh, what about the military ones?
I don't think I was. The only
Did
ones
you?
I can remember clearly are the ones we just talked about, and then we did the one up the hill in Palm Springs. I remember that it was kind of
Uh, that's
interesting
right.
weather conditions that day. It was really fun.
That's right. That was a lot of good times. So clearly you've done a lot since we worked together on Top Gear. I think that was like 10, 12 years ago,
But
at
yeah,
least. You know.
I
So,
didn't have any gray hair then.
oh man, tell me about it. I mean, this is what happens when you're an AD, like assistant director. It's like it just happens so quick. It takes over. So, but it's experience. It shows experience. That's what I like to say, right?
Yeah, I'll take it.
And definitely you got an experience. So what have you done since? Like, I mean, clearly I've looked, at your page, and you've done a lot of filming. SEAL Team, Dirty Job, SWAT, 9/11. That's pretty badass. I didn't know you're a BAFTA award winner. Oh my gosh, 2 Emmy Award nominees, Aaron. I mean, you're legit, man.
No, I'm not, but I'm close to the people who are legit. No, I've been really lucky. I've been able to do a lot of really fun productions, and you know how it is. One thing kind of leads into another, and then one day you wake up and you're on big feature films, watching cars explode on bridges and stuff. And it's just been a really, really fun ride. I've been able to work with really cool people, and I've solved a lot of creative problems along the way, which is what I find attractive about it. I love flying helicopters. That's my primary foundational skill set is flying, but applying that skill to the creative process of production is what really kind of hooked me and got me into it. And I just love going on set and figuring out a way to get what you want in a safe, mostly legal way. And I've been fortunate to do that on some big stages and some little stages. And it's fun whether you're working on a little show or a big show or a huge feature or whatever. The job itself, to the core of it is the same. And that's the part that I love.
It's surely in your time you've pulled a prank on a passenger or two. I don't know. It's kind of a cruel joke. I mean, I guess it's an army thing, like the parachute joke, or saying something right before you jump about your fellow paratrooper. Like, I don't know, it doesn't look like it's packed right, or talking him down. I mean, have you?
Oh yeah, that was our thing.
You know,
We look at a guy shooting, and go, "You're not going to
yeah,
jump with that like
yeah,
that, are you?" And then he'd go, "What?" And then you go out the door.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't do that too much as a helicopter pilot. But I accidentally did scare somebody one time. We were on a big project. Well, I'm sure there's been people who've been scared for many reasons over the years, but one that I remember, which is kind of funny, is on the AS350 that we use for filming a lot. There's the hydraulic cutoff switch that's on the collective, which is in your left hand, and it's just a toggle switch. And if you flip it forward, the hydraulics turn off and you get a light on the warning panel and you get an alarm in your headset. And if you're going really fast, it creates an aerodynamic situation that's kind of unusual. It wants to pitch up and roll. So anyway, I'm flying along over the desert and we have a passenger. It's the wife of one of the technical guys that we were doing on this project. And he was in charge of the telemetry system we were using. So we're way out in the desert over New Mexico, and he had his wife with him. And it was the first time ever in a helicopter, and I had Luke Akins, the famous skydiver, in the co-pilot seat, and I was talking and gesturing and whatever, and I wear these hippie beads on my wrist, and I was wearing one that had a larger bead, and it actually hit the switch and shut the hydraulics off while we were flying at
Shit.
maximum cruise speed. So the helicopter pitches up, the alarm goes off, and we're all laughing like, "Oh my God, I knew those hippie beads were going to be a problem someday," and everyone's giving me a bunch of crap. And then we landed, and I kind of forgot about the missus. And anyway,
Oh
she
my
was as
gosh.
white as a ghost, and I understand she never flew in a helicopter ever again. So I inadvertently scared somebody, but usually I keep it pretty calm, other than the loops and rolls and stuff.
A hot minute ago, I used to drive freight trains, and after doing the same, I drove them before I got into this, and so I've driven from like in the Bay Area, Central Valley, trains are doing 70 miles an hour, and after a while, you kind of get bored because you're doing the same thing, and train's a little different, but so you start testing yourself and waiting like a little longer to slow down to that 35-mile-an-hour curve to test your skills a little. So I'm sure you do that as well, right? You push the limits kind of like that to keep you, I don't know, not bored.
Sometimes, yeah, but it can end badly if you push it too far. The contest to see who can go the lowest only ends one way. So
Right.
you generally don't try to find a new limit. Like in skydiving, that's the culture, right? You're always trying to push it, push it, push it. But in helicopters, we tend to leave ourselves a little margin to escape.
Right. So what's your limit though? Because I'm looking at these some photos that you sent to me. I follow you on Facebook, all your social media, and I'm seeing you doing loops in the air with a helicopter, like multiple loops and shit. I mean,
Yes.
is that not pushing the limit a little? Is that not?
It is in the sense that it's kind of unusual. There's not many helicopters that do it, and there aren't too many pilots that have the license to do it in waivered airspace. Fortunately, I'm one of those guys, and I'm very lucky that I get to fly one of the few helicopters that does it really well. It's the one you see behind me, the Red Bull helicopter.
Wow.
So it's a program. I didn't invent any of it, but I was trained by the very best, and they Red Bull chose me some years ago, about 8 years ago, to be their American pilot. So I represent the brand and fly these helicopters all over the country doing air show displays, and that's what you're talking about. So it involves a lot of loops and rolls and forward flips and backward flips and all kinds of things that you don't normally see a helicopter do.
That's so rad. Was that an audition process that you had to go through? Did they come and find you? Was it hours that you had to put through to train to prove that you could do it?
Yes to everything. They don't have a system by which you can apply at Red Bull. They sort of pick who they want, and they just call you and offer you the job. So to this day, I don't know exactly how I got the job, but I have a good idea. I had been working uh, with them as a vendor for a number of years through Airborne Images, the company that you mentioned at the top of the show. That's my aerial production company, and in that capacity, I'd been working for them as a vendor, so they knew who I was.
Oh.
I was kind of a known entity. They had seen me fly. They knew how I do business. They knew who I was as a guy. So when they needed a new person, I was kind of the one standing there, and they invested the time and effort and money to train me, and took about a year to rebuild the helicopters and do the whole training program and all that. And then 2018 was my first show season, and I've been doing it ever since.
Oh
And I still
man.
do production. I still have the company and all that, but this is a kind of a high profile part time job that I'm fortunate to have and get to do.
Oh man, that's so great to know. I mean, I can't wait to hopefully I'll have a project where we can work together again because it's so much fun working with you, and it's so cool to see. It's really cool to see the trajectory of a lot of people that you've worked with, for the last, 12, 10 years to see where, where they've come from and where they are now. And it's just really cool to see that. So we follow you. We know what you've been doing. But do you have any fun, crazy, I don't know, it doesn't have to be fun, any crazy stories from flying? Any oh shit moments that you can share? I don't know, something out of the ordinary?
Well, I'm lucky I get to do some out of the ordinary things with Red Bull, and then with production. You know how that goes when we're making film and television. You're always doing something unusual. We get to do a lot of really fun stunts for that show SWAT, which is a pretty successful show for CBS. So they have a good sized budget, and they have really good stunt coordinator and Austin Brewer and Lance Gilbert. Those guys, they do some incredible stunts, and I'm lucky to be part of that team and get to go out and do all kinds of fun stuff with them. We got to do a fun fight scene the other day. Wait, when does this come out? When does your podcast go?
I mean, as soon as I edit it and get it going, which will probably be in a few weeks.
Okay, cool. Then we're good. I can talk about this. Anyway, we did one where it was a fight scene in a helicopter. So I was flying the helicopter, and the star of the show is Shamar Moore, and he was fighting with a stunt guy on the skid. So we're in the air flying, and they're fighting over control of the helicopter. It was pretty fun, pretty exciting. Shamar's pretty strong, so when he
Wow.
pretends to be fighting for the controls, you better have a good grip on the control.
Holy crap, man. That's pretty intense.
Yeah, it's a fun episode. They're all great to work with. It's a fun show to work on. SEAL Team was fun for different reasons, but also super fun. We get to do a lot of really great stuff. It's fun to pretend to be at war in a helicopter where the bullets aren't real and the explosions are controlled, and we shoot miniguns from the helicopters and all that on camera, but we're of course shooting blanks and nobody's shooting back at us. So
Oh my God, that's
all
so
fun and no stress.
so much fun. I mean, so I don't know about you, but going back and getting to play Army, and being able to leave is a lot of fun. We
Way more fun than being in the Army.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
for sure.
100%. We did it 2 times. We filmed an episode with the 101st at
Mhm.
Fort Campbell, where the 101st chased Tanner down in a G wagon, and then we did another episode at the National Training Center at Fort Irwin, where the guys
Okay.
the guys got tracked down by snipers, and Adam got to fire off some rounds in a tank,
Cool.
which is so rad because you get to go back, especially NTC. You know, you've been there before, and you're like, this place sucks, and you know what it's about. But when you go back as a civilian, totally different.
When I was in the Army, we used to always say, I don't understand how they can take the fun out of things that would ordinarily be extraordinarily fun, like jumping out of airplanes, rappelling out of helicopters, shooting machine guns, blowing stuff up. It's all really fun. And thank you to the taxpayers for all that ammunition and gasoline and jet fuel.
Right.
But somehow or another, they managed to take the fun out of it. I don't know how. Maybe it's the sleep deprivation or freezing cold all the time or always starving. I'm not sure what it is, but it's a lot less fun when you're doing it than it is to remember all the cool stuff that you did.
Totally. Yeah, it sucked. But going back, you know, filming and being a little bit, and it's just a different dynamic. You know, you're hanging out with a command sergeant major. You know, I mean, it's just totally different. So it's nice when you can go and kind of play Army and then just walk away and be like, thanks, see you later.
Yeah. Now we go to, you know, I go to air shows on military bases and I'm talking to generals and stuff, like calling them by their first name. It's something I would have never done when I was a lower enlisted guy. I was an E4, so I don't think I ever spoke to a general the whole time I was in the Army, but I talk to them all the time now.
Oh man, right? You're just like, I mean, they're your peers. I mean, you think about, you know, guys that were in with us years ago. That's, you know, what level they'd be at. I mean, I don't know about years. Me, it's 30 years, I think. Or
yeah, my roommate at Fort Bragg in the 82nd Airborne was an E4 when I left there, and now he's the DeVarty Command Sergeant Major. So he did pretty well for himself.
Holy crap!
But
that's
that, like
amazing.
you said, our peers, anybody that's still in, they've made it quite a ways up the channel by now.
Yeah, and they stayed in for a reason too. I mean, I was so immature. I wish I would have stayed in and did some other schooling. I was in the old guard, so I was in DC my full time. And I had a great time. And, you know, loved the Army and the infantry. You know, wouldn't have done it different. But man, today's Army is a little different than yesterday's Army. That's for sure.
Yeah, I never intended to make it a career. I'm really proud of what I did, and it was really fun. And I made great friends that are still my best friends in life now. But I never intended to stay in. I got out as soon as my first contract was up, and came to LA and started working in the helicopter world. So it all worked out for me.
Oh, so you didn't get an aviation in the 82nd at all?
No, I was a paratrooper. I was artillery.
11 Bravo. Oh, 11 Mike.
13 Bravo.
Oh, 13 Bravo. I'm like, what are all these? Yeah. Okay. Not 11 Bravo. I should just say it's not
11 Bravo. That's infantry. We supported the infantry.
Yeah, I know.
In fact, just the other day, some guys were broken down on the side of the road on the freeway. It was a truck, a bunch of young guys, and they had a big infantry sticker in the back of their car. And I pulled over and helped them out and got them a tow truck and everything. And they're like, can we pay you, bro? And I'm like, no, man, I support the infantry. That's what I do.
Oh, that's fucking awesome. They're like, oh, man, now they're going to stop
talking. You guys need an airstrike or anything? I got you, man. Whatever you need.
They're going to stop talking shit about support units and be like, hey, man, that's where our real support is, you know?
Hey, that was our job, support the infantry, right?
Oh, man.
Direct fire, indirect fire. If you need artillery, we were there for you.
So much fun. Do you miss the MREs? Be real.
No, I don't miss MREs. I mean, I miss some of the time sitting on some piece of equipment in the middle of nowhere eating MREs out of the envelope with my buddies. But if I missed them, I'd probably go buy some and eat them, and I haven't done that, so clearly I don't miss them.
No, don't. I have a box that I got from one of the shoots that are just sitting in the closet waiting. Oh no, don't do that. But you know, but it's cool. You say, I mean, in the camaraderie. I mean, you can't beat that camaraderie and what it does for teamwork. You know, the whole training aspect of it and having each other's back, and so that's something that's invaluable.
The friendships formed under duress are the strongest, I think, and the most genuine.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm good friends with people who I have very little in common with, different backgrounds, different parts of the country, different sense of humor, everything, but we're still best friends because of what we did together, everything we experienced.
I would say that. I always talk about how I mean, I hate talking politics, but how polarized it is now. In my time when I was in DC, it was like, it didn't matter, what you're more apolitical, and it just wasn't talked about. You didn't care. I mean, I know I had very conservative friends, but it didn't matter. I mean, we had that common thread of being in the Army together, and that was stronger than anything else.
Yeah, it's just a difference of opinion. You can't go around feeling ill will for anyone that disagrees with you. That's not a good place to be.
Yeah. And I also learned closed mouth gathers no foot. So I would, and I did not, I knew from basic training, like just shut up, eyes forward. If they don't know your name, you're better off. If they know, it's when they know your name, then you're screwed,
Yeah. I had a hard time hiding because I'm 6'2", so that was an easy target, right? Everybody else could kind of shriek down. I didn't have that option.
Oh, dude. So my hair grows so fast, Aaron. We would get our haircuts and we'd come back a week later. They'd be like, McGuire, why's your hair so long? I'm like, I'm sorry, drill sergeant. They're like, go get that cut. So I'd get like 2 cuts, like once a week because my hair grew so fast. Oh.
I had the opposite problem. In basic training, we got a wild hair one time and I shaved my head completely bald. And it was only this long to begin with. And then I shaved it the rest of the way. And oh my God, they didn't like that. That is not your hair, Private. Who told you can shave our hair from your head? I was like, never occurred to me that I would get in trouble for shaving my own head. But okay, I'll do some push-ups.
That is my hair? Isn't these my nails? I don't know about you. I remember our shakedown when we first got there. Like an idiot, you bring clothes thinking you need anything at all. And so they do a shakedown. Everyone's standing there at attention, and they shake the bag out right in front of you. And they looked at my Adidas slides, and he's like, McGuire, what are these? I'm like, those are my thongs, drill sergeant. He's like, McGuire? He's like, a thong, something you wear up your ass. Those are your shower shoes. I'm like, yes, drill sergeant. And so from then on, I started calling them my shower shoes, and I never called them the thong again. So.
I'm from Washington State, and we called those thongs too. But now I've been in California so long, I've adapted. We call them flip flops.
Yeah. I know. I mean, soda, pop, that whole, North, whatever thing. I think they pretty much.
In Hawaii, they call them slippers.
Slippers,
but they don't pronounce the R. Slippers.
Oh, that's funny. Well, dude, I can't thank you enough for coming on the show, man, and having some chat with us and sharing a few stories. And it's so good to see, where you are and where you're going. But before everyone goes, don't forget to check out my website, gofordonny.com. You can go there and you can get some great little swag. I mean, I have some nice hats. Yeah, it's all about branding yourself, as you look over your right shoulder and brand yourself there a little with that.
Oh, yeah.
Branding. But yeah, check it out. And I have, this is just going to be an audio podcast. It's also a video podcast, in case you didn't know. And that's on my YouTube channel. So I have that. And then stay tuned for the Switch channel to you guys, where I'm going to get to ask Aaron, a handful of questions just to get to know him a tad bit better before I let him go. So, Aaron, thanks. As my mother-in-law always says, #HTFU. HTFU. And I'll tell you what that means as soon as we stop.
Thanks for having me on. It was an awesome.
All right. Thanks, Aaron. Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Production for Donny.
Go for Donny. Locations for Donny. Go for Donny.
Habitat for Donny.
Go for Donny.
Hey, Donny, what the hell are they doing?